And the train keeps on rolling, baby. The Oklahoma Sooners get a commitment from the tight end Jake Roberts out of the transfer portal. And this is big time for Oklahoma. And we're going to dive into it and talk about not only what is going to be the impact for the upcoming 2024 season, but what kind of impact could this have on the recruiting trail here in the 2025 class. Guys, I am your host, Preston. Thank you for tuning into the PG Show, where we talk about all things college football. Oklahoma, I love them. They're the team that you guys love to come listen about, talk about. So we're going to talk about them today, right? We got to show them a little bit more love. Now, a couple housekeeping things. Thank you, guys. We finally hit 7,000 subscribers. Still on our way to 10,000, but I appreciate you guys that have really worked diligently to making sure that you're subscribed over the past couple of weeks. Appreciate that. If you guys haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. All right. So the Oklahoma Sooners get a commitment from Jake Roberts in the tight end room. And if you guys saw it on Friday, I believe it was January 5th, he was on campus with his younger brother, Nate Roberts, seeing Joe John Finley and getting an opportunity to tour the facilities. And if you aren't familiar with who Jake Roberts is actually from Norman, Oklahoma. You heard me, Fred. You heard that right. Jake Roberts is homegrown, and originally he ended up going to North Texas and then ended up transferring to Baylor. Oklahoma was in that recruitment for Jake Roberts before he ended up at Baylor, but ultimately you just didn't have the relationships or the ties to be able to go out there and win it. And I think for a lot of people ask the question, well, what's going to be the difference this time? The difference this time is you have Seth Luttrell as your offensive coordinator, who is the same guy that recruited Jake Roberts down to North Texas to begin with. Out of high school, he was a 3-star prospect, the number 1,388th ranked player in the country. He had 7 offers. He had offers from Colorado, Tulsa, Air Force, I believe Oklahoma State, K-State, and a couple others. So he had some good offers out there. But, during that time, it was Lincoln Riley, and Lincoln Riley wasn't too fond of recruiting Oklahoma guys. Now, looking at what Jake Roberts did in his career, not only at North Texas and Baylor, definitely his most significant production was at Baylor. In 2022, he had 28 receptions, 394 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 1 carry for 10 yards. And then you had in 2023, he had 23 receptions for 231 yards and 1 touchdown. So his average went down from 2022 to 2023. But here's why this is big for Oklahoma, because you have a tight end room right now that currently consists of Caden McKinstry, Caden Helms, Josh Faneuil. You're going to have Devon Mitchell coming in. You've got Bauer Sharp. There's a lot of youth, right? But not a lot of production. Here's what I mean by this. Jake Roberts, when you go look at PFF and you look at the analytics and you see how many snaps he had just this past season alone, the dude had 325 snaps. And you've seen what he did on production-wise. And when you look at how he's graded, he's not graded that bad. So here's how I look at it. I like to look at, the top in their category. And I like to say, well, how did they grade against him? Well, Brock Bowers was obviously the top tight end in the country. Run block grade, he had a 73.2. Jake Roberts came in at a 64.3. So not too far off from where Brock Bowers was. Now, obviously, receiving, there was a gap. Brock Bowers had an 86.7, while Jake Roberts only had a 68.4. So Jake Roberts ranked 72nd in the receiving grade, but total offensive grade, he received a 70.3, which was the 47th best in the country. So this might not be a top tier guy in the portal, right? But it's a guy that you look at and say, he's draft eligible in 2025. He's a junior. He's played at a lot of other places. He's going to be able to come in and bring some experience and kind of help maybe teach Devon Mitchell and some of these other guys. And he's going to be a guy that you can count on, when you go into the SEC. And I think that's the thing, right? You needed somebody in this room that you can count on while also having a lot of upside in Devon Mitchell. So really like the pickup of Jake Roberts. And I mentioned earlier, how could this impact the recruiting trail? Well, you're currently trying to recruit his younger brother, Nate Roberts, to Oklahoma, who is a guy that we have kind of believed is going to end up at Ohio State. At least that's where the recruitment is trending now. And I know some people will tell you, oh, Oklahoma's in a great position. Listen, I think that when it comes time to signing, he'll be in Oklahoma. But I would not be shocked to see him commit to Ohio State before then, because Ohio State's got some momentum. Now, Oklahoma's got Kevin Sperry, his older brother Jake Roberts now. It's hard to believe that he won't end up signing with Oklahoma. So not a whole lot for Oklahoma fans to worry there right now. If we get to October, November of this year and Nate Roberts still isn't flipped to Oklahoma, maybe then we can start asking the question. So guys, I want to hear your thoughts on Jake Roberts to the University of Oklahoma. Do you think he's going to be a significant piece for Oklahoma and this offense this year? Additionally, what are your guys' thoughts? Do you guys think this helps Oklahoma at all when it comes to trying to land a guy like Nate Roberts? Nate Roberts. And do you think Jake Roberts is going to be able to help teach and mold Devon Mitchell and some of these other young tight ends to be great tight ends? So let me know in the comments below. Join the discussion. If you haven't already, hit that like and hit that subscribe button.